Good morning. Dan has made my day already. I'm Roth Cornet. That's Dan Murrell.
Hello.
He likes New York.
I'm a big fan of New York.
He's a big fan of New York.
Yes.
This pleases me.
Show or the reality star?
What's that?
Or,
The reality star?
Reality star or city?
You love New York?
I don't know the reality star.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
I
love
painfully
New
out
York,
of
the reality
touch.
star.
The city.
New York City, where
Yes.
Dan just got
Noted.
back from. That's
Yes,
why he
indeed.
was not with us on Friday. Spencer Gilbert is here. Joe Starr is here.
Hello.
We're going to talk about Black Panther winning big at SAG. We got some Harley Quinn to discuss in a little bit, Dan. There's lots of things to get into today. Start with that Black Panther. We'll circle back to why you love New York at the end of the show, just because it tickles me and I get to do what I want for this half hour. Yay! Parameters. Black Panther won big at the SAG Awards, which has a lot of people saying, what does this mean or not for Oscar? It took the top award, Sunday's 25th Screen Actors Guild Award. Ryan Coogler's Superhero won the Best Ensemble. Dun, 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 dun. So if you guys don't know, just to give a little bit, I know you probably do know this, but the SAG Awards is the Screen Actors Guild, which means these are the actors, that are voting for these things. And I'm in a mood. And they are the largest percentage of the voters for the Academy Awards, which is why people often think there's a correlation between SAG, particularly for the acting awards, who wins and who doesn't. There's one notable place where that will not be true. I think half of the time the Best Ensemble winner is also the Best Picture winner at the Oscars. So we'll dig into that in a little bit. So is it or is it not in contention? There was Rami Malek now really does seem to be a front runner for Best Actor, where I actually thought that it was going to go to Christian Bale.
I'm not so sure.
Oh, good. Let's debate.
Yeah.
Glenn Close, I'm calling her a lock for the wife at this point.
She's the easy front runner.
Easy front
now.
runner.
Yeah.
Mahershala Ali, also easy front runner. Here's the twist. Regina King, who I think will win the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress, did not win at SAG. Emily Blunt won for A Quiet Place, but she is not nominated for an Oscar, which is why she will not win there,
No.
among other reasons. So that's interesting. A lot of people thought that were pissed off about Emily Blunt's win over Regina King. We're going to talk about all of it, starting with Black Panther. Do you or do you not think this weighs into Best Picture, Dan Murrell?
I think that it could. I think that it's a wide open field, and you're right, sometimes they don't match, but looking a couple times, Crash won this award, which portended Crash being a surprise Best Picture winner, and then
Racism was over.
I had to bring up Crash.
Thank goodness.
And then also a few years ago, when the Best Picture race was really wide open, Spotlight won this award.
Yeah.
And then it was sort of a, not surprise Best Picture winner, but it wasn't, I think, the one that a lot of people thought was going to win.
Yeah.
And so I think that there's precedent for a movie either A, pulling a big surprise, or B, winning in a wide open field when they win this award. But I don't know. I still don't think there's a front runner. Roma wasn't nominated in this category, and I think that's part of it too. Is a lot of times when it doesn't match, like last year it didn't match, and the reason why it didn't match is because Shape of Water wasn't nominated for that award.
Right.
So Roma's not in that
really
category.
An ensemble film.
Exactly. I mean, so I don't know. I think it definitely establishes that it's maybe in the upper tier of the maybes, but I still would peg ever so slightly Roma as a front runner. But I think it gives it a lot more legitimacy as far as like its chances of being able to win.
It's interesting because I'll largely agree. I still think it will go to Roma, but I think that's largely because I can't imagine the rest of the Academy. I don't know. It will be such a historic moment if Black Panther does win Best Picture. But what do you guys think?
I mean, I'm still confused over the overlap between SAG voters and Oscar voters. Like, I thought you could, no offense, get in SAG for like doing a web series. Like,
But the acting branch is the largest branch of the Academy.
So that's the crossover. You're right. It's not that every SAG voter is also an Academy member.
Right.
It just means that the acting block of the Academy voters is the largest block.
Yeah.
So that's all. That's the correlation.
Right, but I can see them SAG just being something with, I don't know. It's probably the easiest guild to get into of like the DGA.
I don't know. Billy's in
SAG
the Producers Guild.
Sorry, Billy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what what I
No,
meant
keep
to
going.
say.
I'm very curious to
No,
hear.
no. So
how
what
this
I was
is
going to say about that is, like, for example, someone with Billy's skills and experience and value is in the Producers Guild, but I'm pretty sure I could also get into it. So, and I got nothing. Look at
But
me.
you know what you do need to get into the Producers Guild? You need a member to actually nominate you, Roth. Do you know any?
That's why
what I'm
Billy's my
saying.
best friend.
That's what I'm saying, which is why I'm trying to emphasize the difference between you and me. Do
My
you
point,
see the point
my
that
point being, I'm
You
sure your
guys see
point
what
is
I'm
very
making.
inoffensive
Yes,
to Billy.
it
But
is.
my point is that
very
the SAG
complimentary.
Awards have such a large pool of voters that they may reflect more like popular sentiment and not like, you know, a snootier, more highbrow sentiment. So they would award Black Panther and, you know, Rami Malek and
Or
A Quiet Place,
yeah.
Place and stuff like that. Just because the voting block is just like, you know, people who are participating in the film industry but haven't like really solidified like their high perch to look down on other people from.
Maybe. I mean, technically, I'm in SAG. Well, I could be if I actually paid my
there you go.
dues. So again, I would agree with you that there's a wider number of people that are in SAG than are in the Academy Awards, but it has been predictive, as has been when you tally sort of all of the Guild Awards. That's when you really start to see what is predictive, because those are the people that are also, not all of them, but a good portion of the people that are in those guilds are also voting in the Academy Awards. So Billy, who is top tier, the best producer I've ever worked at, also just my favorite person, I wanted to mention.
Keep going. I got nothing else to do.
Is shamefully not also in voting for the Academy Awards, because if he were, we would be getting this right. Joe Starr?
Roth, I've made a decision.
Oh.
Maybe it's because I'm just chaotic neutral, but I've decided I want Black Panther to win Best Picture at the Academy Awards.
All
I
right.
want it to build on this momentum, and I want it to win. Not because I necessarily think that it deserves Best Picture. It's in a strong competitive field. But anytime you put the words award and Black Panther in the headline of a YouTube video, a whole bunch of weirdos show up to bitch and moan about how it's an overrated movie and I just want to watch their faces melt. Like, that's where I'm at.
You want a
now.
backlash to
You
the backlash?
see them, Joe?
I can.
You
right
can?
now. Yeah. This is my bird box. If I look, I just see people going, it wasn't even the best superhero movie of the year. So I desperately want it to win Best Picture now.
Okay.
Just
The spite pick.
it's pure spite pick. I promise you that the comments in this video aren't even going to be people that watched the video. It's just going to be people that saw the headline and came in to be like, I just wanted to say a few things about Black Panther. And I desperately wanted to win now.
All right. Well, have fun in your
What do you
doxing, Joe. I'll be on the sidelines, not in that video,
Yeah.
enjoying my life.
What do you think the best superhero movie of the year is? Spider-Verse.
Spider-Man and the
Yeah,
Spider-Verse is
yeah.
easily my favorite superhero movie of the year. Rami Malek.
Yes.
I think any other year would be
Venom.
absolutely the front runner, but here's why I think that maybe it's not so locked in. Is that the whole Bryan Singer story broke literally the day after, and to some people, his comments about
I don't know him.
about not knowing anything about Bryan Singer or anything about his life or having ever met the man, apparently,
Bold choice.
were a little questionable. I don't know whether he knew or not. I'm just saying this is the news cycle and the perception, and I think that perhaps that might have opened up at the wrong time as far as people casting their ballots exactly when that was happening.
Yeah.
And I think that opens the door
Sure.
to Christian Bale. That's a big category. I really think anybody nominated in that category could take it. That's why he's not any other year I'd say slam dunk, but I think that there is some wiggle room there. There's also one award I do have to take umbrage with now that Joe's made that wonderful, but it is about Black Panther. They won Best Stunt Ensemble
Yeah.
over Mission Impossible Fallout.
Now
And
this I'll agree with
I'm
you on.
sorry, that to me is just, that should have been no contest. Looking at the work, like the volume of what they did. I mean, I can't think of a big stunt in Black Panther that wasn't CG.
I have a counterpoint. Is it not? Do they have to discard all the things that Tom Cruise did himself?
No,
because he's not part of the stunt ensemble.
I don't think so.
The lead actor.
They're
that's
still
a really
rigging
good-
him up.
No, no,
It's still a stunt.
No, that's a legitimately good question. No, that's a legit. I don't know.
I mean, actors aren't discounted if they do their own stunts, are they?
I don't know.
But I mean,
we tweet at
even
David
if
Leitch
Tom
and
Cruise
ask
did the
him?
stunt, they still, the stunt team
Billy?
still choreographed it, right? They
Yeah.
still did it.
Was he part of the?
Wait, hang on
yeah.
one second. I just want to say, Moon of My Life.
Moon of my life.
Would you be willing to investigate the rules of the stunt category for us, please?
So what is the dispute?
We don't know if Tom Cruise doing his own stunts would count towards the stunt work in Mission Impossible in total, or if they would just be counting the stunt work of the stunt people themselves only.
Yeah, is he part of the stunt ensemble?
Like, is he
or
part of
is
the
he in
stunt
his own
ensemble? Like,
category?
would he walk up there and receive that award? Would Tom
Right.
Cruise?
He'd rappel in there. And
Yeah, he would just
Let me look up these wildly hypothetical questions.
Thank you.
While you guys keep
Google
talking.
that.
Thank you, my moon, my stars.
Thank you, my son and stars.
You're welcome, Mom.
my sink full of suns.
That's a really, I would agree with you, except I actually think that's an interesting distinction. In Black Panther, the only stunt work that they would have had would have, I guess, been the fights hand
I mean,
to
they have
hand.
that fights at the casino. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not saying that the stunt work in Black Panther wasn't good or that they weren't worthy of, being nominated or anything. I just, for me, when I'm giving an award to a stunt ensemble, I think that the stunt work in Mission Impossible was superlative. And
Agreed.
so I was a little disappointed. And I'm sure there was some CG aiding some of it, but I know that a lot of it was also not aided by
Tom Cruise
CG
breaking
at all.
his
It was,
ankle.
and stuntmen. Yeah, I'm sure there were other stuntmen that were rolling around and doing stuff. I don't know. Maybe I don't know the criteria, but that was the one that I saw that's just like, oh man, like, I know awards are subjective, but just looking at the nominees and looking at just like, how do you not give it?
was nominated,
to,
right?
Yeah, it was nominated. Yeah, and I don't know. That to me just felt like a big kind of a wave of just like, I know people love Black Panther, but you can spread the love around. You don't have to give it to every
Apparently
category.
they don't. Joe just
So
told me.
I-
Specifically, Best Picture. That's where my love for Black Panther's going.
I think it's the stunt coordinator who would actually accept the award.
So that work would still count because
Then
he still
even more so.
coordinated that stunt with Tom
Yeah.
Cruise, and he made Tom Cruise stay alive.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is still walking amongst us because of that stunt coordinator.
Yeah, I mean I'm not debating you on that.
I'm just
at
saying
all.
I didn't see Chadwick Boseman falling off an actual rhinoceros,
Yeah.
or running around or whatever else
Then
was
it
going
wins
on.
Best Picture. If that's the one missing piece.
Yeah, I mean, if there
He
were
really
actual,
dove into that cave of magnet trains. at the
yeah,
end.
exactly. I mean,
That
Yeah.
all really happened.
I feel like the award for who kept Tom Cruise alive this year
Yeah.
is also an important one. Yeah, I mean, I will agree with you. That feels like a snub. Rami Malek, you make a really good point that there might be a shift among the voters due to recent. I think it's I will say, I do think it's a very tough position to put an actor in. Who has to support this movie, that's on his way to potentially winning an Academy Award. It's like he just is an impossible place. There's nothing he can say that will satisfy anyone. And also, I just think he's in a really tough spot.
I agree. It's not so much the situation. It's I think, his response, even if that was the truth, it came off a little like
Dismissive.
I don't know. I was focused on. I'd never heard of him. Never. It just seemed a little. Even if that's true, I think that it's just the way that you say things and you handle things. It's a game of inches sometimes when it comes to the Oscars, and if it's just even a small amount of people that are just like, I don't know, maybe I'll vote for Christian Bale. That could swing or Willem Dafoe or whoever, that could swing the whole thing. So or Vigo.
Yeah. Well, I think probably if it's not Rami Malek, it will be Christian Bale. Yeah.
I still think that it's a phenomenal performance. I just
Yeah.
sometimes these weird things come into play, and that could be one of them.
Other than Joe's pitch for Black Panther to win Best Picture, does anyone else actually think? Should I put you on the spot by saying, do you think it should win, Spencer? Gonna.
Should Black Panther win?
Yeah.
Not for me personally, although I do like blowing up the internet. That's always a fun thing to happen, and people will watch the Oscars next year because of it, maybe. But no, I mean, are you asking me for my Best Picture pick? Oh, for me, it's The Favorite. I think it's the favorite, and I would put money on it a little bit because I'll bet the odds are good. That like I could bet $1 on the favorite and win like $500 if it wins.
I'll take your bet.
Okay, great.
Yeah, if it's.
I'll give you. So I get $500 if it wins, and
well,
you get
that's
$1
a bad bet.
if it loses.
Well, I'm not going to take that bet. We'll make a bet that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, it'll be the favorite or Roma. I don't think Bohemian Rhapsody needed more allegations about its shitty director to come out to lose that award necessarily, because it's not the best movie. Yeah, I'd say Roma or favorite.
Well, I would say favorite's not favorited. At least if you look at the odds, it's going to be Roma or Vice. I think is number 2, and Star is Born is dropping.
I'm sure, but like, what were the odds on Moonlight winning last year?
Pretty high. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But just when you look at the track, what the awards that it was gaining over time, I probably Roma. But you never know. There could be this year is not very clear.
Yeah. It's
there could
very
be a twist.
Black Panther wouldn't be
ranked choice voting, right? For
I
Best
think it's a
Picture.
ranked choice, and Black Panther wouldn't be my choice either. But I like it a lot. I think it's a really good movie. But I mean, we did our 10 list. It wasn't in my top 10, even though I liked it a lot.
Don't tell them that outside of that video.
That's fine. What I don't care. I don't care anymore. Really don't care. I'm just at that point. But yeah, we'll see. I think it's a very wide open race. There is no one movie, so I think it's just about as likely as any of the other ones.
All right. Well, there you have it. Our answers are we have no answers, but Joe has a dream for the internet, and you've heard it here.
Why would you want that for any of us? For anyone? I'm not even
That's
thinking
true.
about them. I'm thinking about me.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm selfish, man.
Yeah, you guys have made talking about this less fun with your anger.
All right.
Well,
Joe's in a mood today too, man. Everyone's in a mood.
well, it's a Monday. We haven't had our coffee, but the good news is we have had pictures of. We can talk about DC now, Joe.
Yes, a teaser.
Oh,
for
boy.
DC. A teaser of a teaser.
I think we have a teaser of the looks of the maybes for Harley Quinn for the Birds of Prey. First footage revealed. Margot Robbie teased the Birds of Prey first look earlier today, or yesterday. This is via Warner Brothers and Slash Film. I think it looks cool.
Here's the thing, though. We said so many times over the past calendar year, I'll believe it when I see it. They literally have to prove to you now every single time. So
That
it's
the
like,
movie exists?
Yeah, it's like, why are they putting out these 15 seconds thing? Because we told them that we won't believe it's a real movie until we see them roll on it.
This
That
movie
looks
has now
like,
become
It
a
looks like a
thing.
real promo photo shoot for a movie.
That looks like
That's not it. None of that's in the movie, right?
Well, it's
No, no,
camera
no.
test.
that looks like camera test.
Yeah,
to
it's
me.
all camera
yeah,
test.
costume test,
Do you-
camera test.
They
yeah.
remember for the Joker movie, they revealed the camera tests for Joaquin
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Right.
It's basically, I think, to Billy's point, to prove the movie is actually going into production.
Right.
They now have to reveal camera tests, which were once just like a whimsical look past.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the beginnings.
It's probably someone at Warner's or whatever, like trying to not get fired by like proving that the movie's already in motion or that the project can't get canceled at this point.
Maybe that's how they guarantee that it doesn't get canceled,
Yeah.
is that they leak the
Yeah.
footage. Each
Ryan
individual producer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds leaked this.
Leaked, yeah. Ryan Reynolds is behind every leak that you've ever seen in Hollywood. It's all Ryan Reynolds.
Just picture him at a computer.
He's the real Scoops McGee.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it. I mean, it looks like a photo shoot or a camera test.
but,
and
I mean, it looked
it's
like-
a very colorful, bright.
Yeah, it looked like a Sephora in the movie Spring Breakers had a kid, and that kid got exposed to a lot of radiation and
Yeah.
got mutated into a weird heist thing. And
I
I'm
just
into
hope
it.
we get more from the YouTube channel that posted it, which I believe is like Sneaky Leaky Peaky or something like that.
I think this is just the reportal that we watched.
Yeah.
Billy, what's the YouTube link from?
Hold on, I'll get it for you.
Okay.
Sneaky, leaky, peaky.
I don't think it's sneaky, leaky, peaky, but
It's something like that.
standing by.
Yeah.
Fact-checking.
It is. Oh shit! You're actually really close. I thought you were just making that up. It's cheeky, sneaky, peeky.
The number one source.
Well, he just got a great plug for his YouTube channel. Make sure you follow
Cheeky Sneaky Peaky.
I gotta say, I like your description of this movie, Joe.
Radiated Sephora.
Radiated Sephora watched Spring Breakers and was like, I can do that.
Yeah, I mean, it
I
looks
can do
fun,
that
but
better than you.
I will hold my judgment because this is literally not part of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's what's to like? Not that I don't like it. It's just
Outfits,
like
makeup, hair.
I like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, and she's in this.
Yep. I liked
And there was literally 1 to 5 frames of every other character. So
Let's name
Do we,
those
have
characters.
do we have the
Joe
freeze
Starr,
frames?
name those characters.
It's Black Canary, it's Huntress, Black Mask,
Ewan.
Rosie Perez is in there. No, Rosie Perez is playing
Montoya.
Renee
Montoya.
Montoya, thank you. A young Cassandra Cain, like pre-Batgirl. And Victor
Zaz,
Yeah.
Zaz.
who was
I
in
mean-
Batman Begins.
He was.
So we did get a
Oh,
little
yeah,
bit of
he
Zaz
was.
before.
It also does look slightly like a Suicide Girls music video. A little bit.
It does a little
which
bit.
I don't
Yeah,
hate.
yeah.
I mean,
I mean, there's a trash can in the corner. This is obviously
Go
not.
back
Go
to the
back.
trash can.
There's a trash can. This is obviously not meant for.
What does this trash can mean for the future of the DCEU?
can we enhance on
Is
the
Logan
trash
in there?
can?
Logan's in the
Enhance.
trash can.
Enhance on the trash can. Enhance.
That'll
Enhance.
take a while.
Enhanced.
Enhance. Well spotted. Easter egg, Dan.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought if that color palette and the music choice has anything to do with the feel of the movie, cool. And if it's not,
Okay.
cool. It was a neat look at what a camera test looks like.
Well stated. That's that on the. I mean, the things that you can like is just that her look in this movie versus the other one, and you can maybe start to get a. Thank you.
Oh, we did
What
it.
is?
Look at
Can
that.
we enhance again? I feel like it says something on the. There's a sign on the trash can that I feel like it's probably going to tell us a lot about what we.
It
can
says
expect.
Henry Cavill out as Superman.
Oh shit! Scoop.
Yeah.
Henry.
That's actually the trash can that Scoops has been in for these
Does-
past 6 months.
does it-
He's been hiding in
Okay,
that trash
all right,
can.
I'm reading it. It says
He's sneaky, creepy, pee-pee.
the Man of Steel 2 script lives here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Fish it out.
We hope Henry Cavill comes back. We need Superman in our lives.
We do.
And I
Yeah.
mean in the world, quite literally.
I think he could be
and
a
certainly
very good
on the
one.
internet.
Yeah.
We need him.
Yeah.
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 All right. Ted Bundy, we don't need. So
Yeah. Can we talk about something a little calmer, like Ted Bundy?
this one's interesting. So Ted Bundy, you guys remember last year it was announced that Zac Efron is what's going to be playing Ted Bundy, and we all did this.
I did not remember. So when I saw this trailer, I went, huh.
Yeah, I do because I did a lot of this. What's that going to be? So the movie is called Extremely Wicked and Shockingly Evil and
Incredibly
Vile.
close.
Yeah, exactly, which is an interesting title for the movie. This premiered, it made its debut at Sundance this weekend, and reactions have not been overly positive around it. For critics, they say that Zac Efron is magnetic on screen, but that the movie seems to be romanticizing Bundy a little bit. And the thing about Bundy is, I think at the time particularly, the shock was that he was this moderately, like fairly successful, you know, in a relationship, very handsome guy that you never would imagine was also a serial killer, murderer of over 30 women. But he was. And there was a book written, The Stranger Next Door, and there was just a lot of that I read as a child because it existed on my murder wall at home. Know a lot about
can
Ted
of worms.
Bundy.
Your murder wall, huh?
But
She a true crime girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this, I think, raises some interesting questions. I haven't seen the film. I have seen the trailer. From the trailer, it looks like it's kind of taking on the tone a little bit of American Psycho. I think where it was very satirical, American Psycho, but American Psycho, the book, was fictional. And the movie, obviously, it wasn't about a real person that had killed real people, but it was also, it was a satirical take on the rabid consumerism of the 80s. And it took it, and it took that idea of like the bonfire of the vanities and these people with no souls to the nth degree of a person that literally couldn't be satisfied. He kept having to push until he literally he was just killing people. So it's a very different work when you take what Ted Bundy was, and if you're trying to illustrate the idea that he was charming, he was seductive, and he was also this killer, but if you put rock music behind it and make it look cool, I think it can become a little bit tricky for the families that really lost their children and their daughters.
Yeah, this felt like
I would compare more
Catch
to
Me If You Can or something, where it's like, this guy's fun.
You say Catch Me If You Can. To me, this was Wolf of Wall Street, I think, is the
Yeah.
comp here, where it is a real-life story. You did hurt people. But I don't. Obviously, we should withhold judgment until we see the movie. Because to me, like Wolf of Wall Street, like if you're a complete chud, you come away from that movie saying, "Oh, I want to be just like Jordan Belfort." Where I think if you're watching it as the filmmaker intended it, you're supposed to say, "Wow, how easy it would be to get sucked in by someone like that," and "Wow, what a shallow, awful life he lived."
Yeah.
Because the fact of the matter is, Ted Bundy was allegedly like a really charming, seductive like person, and so that could be just as, if not more, horrifying than portraying him as like a little freak.
True, and again, reserving full judgment because I haven't seen the film at all. I'm just illustrating what it sounds like people's problems or concerns around it are.
I mean, it's a trailer first and foremost. It's
no,
not
they've
there
seen the movie. This is coming from the
they've
people
seen the
that's
movie.
seen the movie at Sundance.
They think it's
they think
romanticizing?
it's romanticizing Ted Bundy.
Okay, well, I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on that. I think that there's always whenever you do a film about bad people, Wolf of Wall Street, Goodfellas, there's always people saying like, well, they're just romanticizing it. It's like, well, yeah, if you look at the first 2/3 of the movie, then yeah, that is romanticizing it. But if you watch till the end, you know, or take into account what happens, then it's pretty clear that that's the whole point. That's why these people do what they do, is because it seems thrilling and energetic and amazing and romanticized, and then they have to face the consequences of those actions. If the movie ends with Ted Bundy skipping out of jail and saying like, "I got away with it, and you're all suckers," okay, then I'm with you. But I mean, we all know he's a terrible person.
He did escape, though.
Well, yeah, but I doubt that
executed.
it's. Yeah, I'm just saying. A lot of times people will take a part of a movie and apply it to the whole, in the sense that like, well, this part is romanticized, so this movie romanticizes Ted Bundy. I haven't seen it. I'm just saying, playing devil's advocate here.
Well, all I can talk about is the piece of marketing that got put in front of me.
That's a trailer selling a movie.
Yeah, which was sold grossly to me. I saw a couple tweets out of Sundance, and it sounds like they were not the majority, that people were saying it's not a glorification, that it focuses a lot on the manipulation of his wife and blah, blah, blah. But that was like two that I saw, so I don't know if that's like just a couple people being like, "Hey, look at it this way," or if that's the case. But this is sort of a larger thing for me of just sort of this year I've been just thinking a lot differently. I don't know, about how I consume media and things like that. Like, you know, I still haven't watched, you know, we've talked about it, but like I still haven't watched the Punisher stuff because that dropped right around Parkland, and I was just like, it just feels like it's a little bit too much. And yeah, this trailer was like him sitting in a chair backwards and sliding down a banister away from just being like, "Isn't this a cool guy you want to party with?" He killed maybe more than 100 people, but super fun. It just felt gross.
But isn't that what it's doing? Isn't it selling the mystique of how he got away with what he got away with for so long? To me, that's what it was selling. It was selling the fact that here's the demonstrably terrible person, and this movie is going to show you the magnetism that, like you said, with Ted Bundy, like what a lot of people say, what set him apart from the other serial killers is that he wasn't Charles Manson. He didn't have a swastika tattooed on his forehead. He didn't look like a psychopath.
Fun fact, he didn't have the swastika until he was in jail.
That's true. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
That's the comments would have done it before you.
Weekend serial killers.
We're rel-actioning in real time to save ourselves from the comments. My point being that he didn't look like the crazy guy.
Sure.
And so to me, watching that trailer is like, that's what the movie's going to be. It's going to be, how did this guy slip by for so long? He's doing these awful things, but he's a family man. Those two things don't seem to go together. So it didn't really turn me off at all, just because that's the movie that I took it to be selling was, you know, here's this terrible guy. Here's why he has this reputation, and that's what you're going to like in the movie.
Yeah, it goes to these, and again, it's hard
But it's also a trailer.
It's
so
hard to be talking about this having not seen the film.
Yeah.
Because maybe you see the film and it makes what they're doing make sense, or what the filmmaker's intent sort of makes sense in what they're trying to comment on. Because, like I said, for American Psycho, yes, it was about the psychopath specifically, but it really was about kind of the mood of the nation.
And maybe, you know, because I saw the trailer and then immediately looked at reactions, you know, to it, you know, on my Twitter feed, which were a good majority of it was gross. People just being like, Ted Bundy putting me in a mood and serving up looks and blah, blah, blah. From people I like and respect a lot in some cases. And so I think that also, to be fair to Dan, to your point, also pairs with my reaction to it.
Twitter's a funhouse mirror. Sure. I mean, it is a distortion of everything.
PSA time. PSA. Ted Bundy's not hot. He's not sexy. Zac Efron as Ted Bundy isn't. He isn't a treat. Yeah.
Well, I would argue. But wait, I would say the whole horror of this situation and of the film, hopefully that it gets into, is he can be both. Is that somebody that's really attractive and seemingly like a magnetic person can also be horrible. That your hotness has nothing to do with your murder.
It doesn't, but the
quotient.
Sexual appeal ends when you discover about the murder.
One would hope, yeah.
That's all I'm saying is like, you know, he's playing Ted Bundy. This is not Zac Efron in Spring Breakers.
Right.
You know that's who he's playing. So the actor who I think I've brought up the show You a number of times.
I just watched it.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
It's a strong start.
Okay, so internet, we'll talk about it later, but the point is, you see my point, how they're romanticizing this character at the same time as deconstructing the idea of these big, epic, romantic gestures that are kind of actually crazy and dangerous. And he's a really crazy, dangerous guy. He is a stalker. And so the actor that plays the lead role, which I should look up right now, has been answering people on Twitter that are talking about how attractive they find the character and saying, no, do not find him attractive. You know, he is not okay. This is not the point of the show. This is not the point of his portrayal. And only the people that are saying, you creep me out, he's like, good. He should scare you, you know? So that's I think that is an interesting distinction just culturally. But maybe that's the point the movie's trying to make. But about Ted Bundy and about that tone, it's a tightrope. That's a very, 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 very narrow line to walk if you're making about a real person versus a satire about an imagined person, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's
I'm
sort
interested to see the movie.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the movie, how it's portrayed. It, you know, because I think this packs in with me too and doubles down on, like, in the back of my head, like, I also don't trust Quentin Tarantino to really approach Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with, like, tact.
Sure.
Without being like, this murder was sick.
Yeah.
Here's a bunch of references to my favorite films to show you how sick it was.
You're upsetting me, but yeah.
Yeah, sorry. It's
No,
Monday.
No.
Upsetting Monday.
Upsetting Monday. Yeah. But I my hope for Once Upon a Time in the West is that it's going to be revisionist.
Once Upon a Time in the West.
I mean, sorry, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Die in the West.
Yeah, thank you. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is that it's going to be revisionist, the way that Inglourious Basterds was.
That'd be fun.
That it's
And they
more,
take it and twist it, and it's sort of an alt history kind of thing.
I feel like that's maybe what they're going to do.
I think it's, again, from what they've said, it's like it's not about that. It's like adjacent. It's Manson adjacent.
Interesting.
Really as close as I would ever want to be. It's not even that. So yeah, I mean, from what I've heard is like, you know, it's mixes into those events, but it's not like here's
About
the
it.
story
Okay,
of the Manson family. I could be wrong, but those were the earlier reports.
Yeah, it's always
out.
like set during the Manson
right,
murder.
exactly. So,
But we'll see.
We'll see.
But it always just comes back to the idea of what is the purpose of a movie. You know what I mean? And so there is no one answer to that question. And there's a million answers to that question, and there's a million purposes. Movies have different reasons to exist. But I know I brought it up before, but to me it's so clear as day as Boogie Nights in Wonderland. Watch them back to back. Really do. And look at how they take the same story and tell it in a very different way. I mean, I will warn you, trigger warning around Wonderland, they use actual audio in that movie, and it's very, very upsetting. But it really says, like, is a movie meant to entertain, thrill you, and you walk away just entertained and thrilled, but not thinking much about the realities, or is it meant to shove the reality in your face so that you need to face those demons? I don't know. But it sounds like this movie is veering, the way it's landing for people, whatever the intention was, the former rather than the latter, and making something horrific look cool, which I think is kind of dangerous. I actually do.
We'll see.
We'll see. Dan Murrell.
Mm-hmm.
Movie fight things.
Movie fight things?
Yeah. We got Charting with Dan.
We had one last week. It was great.
Yeah.
Greg
Good
Alba.
show.
Yeah.
Great fight. Maybe my favorite.
Your favorite fight?
One of them. Yeah, Greg's man. That was a great fight. I love that.
People should watch it, huh?
They should. They should watch it on Screen Junkies right now.
I think we'll definitely have Greg Alba back soon. 1, because he's a great fighter. 2, because I'd love to see a rematch. 3, he has our bathroom key.
Did he take the bathroom key?
He has our bathroom key.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Great. Are we down to 1 or are we down to none?
We're down to 1.
Oh, great.
Oh, I
Oh,
will
boy.
confess that it's I steal them all the time by accident. You just don't realize you have it.
Now I realize why like gas stations and stuff like put them on like a
Huge,
toothbrush or
yeah.
giant ladle or something.
'Cause you can't put
just
it in your pocket by
and walk out.
accident.
Yeah.
One day I had all 3, and I got the call from the other lady in the office. The one other
You had
lady.
all
I had all
3?
3.
Wow.
And she was like, she called me on the way, and she goes, "Hey, girl,
You got them keys?
got those keys?"
All right, you're on notice, Alba.
Greg Alba, you are on notice. Promote other things. We got Charting with Dan today.
Yeah.
We are going to have Honest Trailers,
Fun Honest
Honest
Trailer
Trailers
tomorrow.
commentaries.
Yep.
As we roll out, I'd like Dan to list the top 5 things he loves about New York City, my hometown.
Oh, okay. I love the atmosphere. I love the ease of transit. You can get anywhere very quickly and very efficiently. That's great. I love just the beauty of it. The beauty of it at night, the way the architecture, the way that everything's mixed together, and you've got the old and the new, but not like here where there's like no identity to it. It's like it somehow gels into like New York. I love that they have weather. That's nice, although it was very cold when we were there. And I love the audience that came out to the Schmodown that I did on Saturday. What an incredible audience, including, by the way, our best fan, Raul, who went to New York to go and see it, which was incredible. And some of our friends from Philadelphia that we met a couple years ago were there.
That's
so so much fun, and the crowd was amazing. So those are just 5 things that I love about New York.
Well, I don't think that I could have said it any better, which is why I didn't. So goodbye. We'll be back tomorrow.